Hello, welcome to video 2 this week. So for this video we're going to be looking at questions 1 and 2 on page 25 of your textbook. The title at the top says estimating and checking, but that's actually for the questions that come next, which we're going to look at in the next video. But these two questions both look at the inverse. I wonder what that is.
Hello, I am the resident expert at inverse operations, and I think you'll find the definition of an inverse operation means the reverse effect, or opposite. It relates to the mathematical operations which includes addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Addition connects with subtraction, and multiplication connects with division. Let's have a look at some examples. So here we have addition being the inverse of subtraction. As you can see, if you take 4 lovely purple dots and add 2 pink ones, you will end up with 6. But if you take your 6 dots and subtract your 2 pink ones, you will end up back with just 4. It is the inverse, the opposite, and I have reversed the effect. You can also see this in the example with a much bigger addition problem, where we are adding 3-digit numbers, the total being 679. But if I subtract 423, I will return to 256. It is the opposite, the inverse. Now let's have a look at multiplication and division. They are also linked by being inverse operations. If I had 3 and I multiplied it by 4, I would end up with 12, yes? But if I take my total of 12 and divide it back into 3 groups, I will end up back at 4. It is the opposite, the inverse. The examples at the bottom, you can see much bigger numbers, but it still works. 213 times 3 is 639. Now, the example on the right at the bottom is a very posh grown-up way of doing division, which we haven't learnt yet. So 639, if you divide that back into 3 groups, you will end up with 213. Brilliant! Back to Mrs. Francis.
So inverse operations, the connection between addition and subtraction, multiplication and division, can also be thought of as being in fact families, because there are 4 number sentences you can write for 3 connected numbers for addition and subtraction, and 3 connected numbers for multiplication and division. And this can be presented in one of these fact triangles. So if we have a look at this top one here, in these triangles, these are subtraction and addition. Okay, so remember they're inverse, they're the opposite of each other. And you always have the biggest number at the top. Okay, biggest number at the top of the triangle. Now I can write 4 number sentences using just these numbers, just rearranging them and using the subtraction and addition signs. So I'll show you how that's done. You might already have guessed. So I'm going to do the 2 addition first and then the 2 subtraction number sentences. So I could do 10 add 20. 10 add 20 equals 30. I could do 20 add 10. Equals 30. So I'm just rearranging, that's all I'm doing. I could also do, if I do my 2 subtraction, always start with the big number. Okay, you can't take away more than you've got. 30, take away 10 equals 20. And 30, have you guessed it? Take away 20 equals 10. Okay, so that's the first fact family, using just these 3 numbers connected by addition and subtraction. I've got 2 addition calculations and 2 subtraction. Always starting with the biggest number with subtraction and rearranging the other numbers. Let's have a look at this one together. Okay, so I want you to have a go at answering this one along with me. You could write it down or you could just say it along with me and I'll give you time to have a think. So what would the 2 addition, so the 2 adding calculations be for this triangle? Have a little think and then I'll write them down. What would the 2 addition calculations be? Pause the video if you're still having a think. So we can have 40, add 20 equals 60. And the other one is, yes, 20, add 40, again equals 60. Now what would the 2 subtraction calculations be? Have a think. Pause the video if you want to have a longer think or have a chat. So remember, with subtraction we must always start with that big number at the top of the triangle. So 60, they're both going to start with 60. But what are we going to take away each time to have a different calculation? We're going to take away 40 and equal 20. That's what would be left. Or we could take away 20 and be left with 40. So what I would like you to do, I've got 4 other examples here. Now you don't need to draw out the triangle unless it's helpful. You can just write down the number sentences, but I've got 4 more here which I'd like you to have a go at, and then I will go through the answers. Now you will notice, spot the difference, this one is missing the total, so you're going to have to work out what the total of those 2 numbers would be and find out that missing number to pop at the top. So I'm going to hold up these 2 to start with, and I'd like you to pause the video and work them out or tell them out loud to somebody, and then I will go through those ones and then we'll have a look at the last 2. So pause the video now and have a go at these. Right, let's see if you got it right. So for this one, we need 21 add 29. I'm going to write these out really quickly so you can check yours. Give yourself a big tick if you got these right. So 21 add 29 equals 50. 29 add 21 equals 50. 50 take away 21 equals 29. 50 take away 29 equals 21. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers of these ones. I'm going to practice my speed writing now. Right, let's have a look. 29 add 26 equals 35. 6 add 29 equals 35. 35 take away 29 equals 6. And 35 take away 6 equals 29. Well done if you got those ones right. Here are the next 2. Remember to pause the video and work them out. And remember, for this one you need to work out the big total of these 2 numbers in order to write your number sentences. Off you go. Okay, so I've written out the answers already for you. So if you're not ready yet, make sure you're pausing still. But here are the answers for this one. 52 add 26 equals 78. 26 add 52 equals 78. 78 take away 52 equals 26. And 78 take away 26 equals 52. And then our last one. Let's have a look at the answers. And the total was 97. So the calculations we have got, we're going to have 34 and 63 equals 97. 63 and 34 equals 97. 97 take away 34 equals 63. And 97 take away 63 equals 34. How did you get on? Did you get them all right? Well done if you did. So if we just have a little look at question 1 on here, it says Dan calculates that 43 take away 17 equals 26. Write an inverse calculation he could use to check his answer. So remember, inverse means opposite or the reverse, and we've just been doing that with our fact families. So imagine this calculation in one of our fact family triangles. You might even want to draw this out underneath the question. Biggest number goes at the top. And we've got other two numbers here. Take away, add. Now I wonder if you can use that to work out a calculation which would help him to check his answer, but it needs to be an inverse, so it needs to be an opposite. So what's the opposite of subtraction? That'll give you a clue as to which number sentence in the fact family you should be choosing. Right, we're going to have a look at question 2 now, but before we do that, we're going to go back to the triangles, but this time they're slightly different. Right, so just the same as addition and subtraction, multiplication and division are also connected and can be shown in a fact triangle as a little fact family. Now you'll still have 3 numbers, and those 3 numbers are connected, but this time by multiplication and division. And we are still going to write 4 number sentences for each triangle. So for this first one, we've got 10, 2 and 5. So the number sentences we can do for this one are 2 times 5 equals 10, 5 times 2 equals 10. 10, we always start with the biggest number for division, divided by 2 is 5, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So again, I've just used those 3 numbers to create 4 number sentences: 2 multiplication, 2 division. Okay, so if I had 2 lots of 5, it would be 10. If I had 5 lots of 2, it would be 10. If I had 10 sweets, divided them between 2 children, they would have 5 each. 10 sweets divided between 5 children, they would just have 2 each. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. I'm going to do this one together. Okay, so remember, you can pause or just say them out loud, and then we'll go through what these ones are here. Have a think about this one, 12, 3 and 4. What are the 4 number sentences we can write with those 3 numbers? Right, if you're not ready, make sure you've paused, because here are the answers. Three times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. There we go. There are your answers. Did you get them right? Now I'd like you to have a go at these 4 examples, just like you did with the last one. Oh, what can you spot? There are missing numbers at the bottom here, just like with the addition and subtraction one at the bottom last time. You were missing the total. You were missing the total here too. So you're going to need to multiply to find the total. And here I've been extra mean and you're missing one of the numbers you need to times by 8 to get to 40. So you're going to have to do a bit of backwards working here to work that one out. So I'm going to hold these two up on the screen and then I'm going to reveal the answers. So please pause so you've got time to work this one out. Right, so here we go. We're going to go through the answers for the top one and then the bottom one. Right, are you ready? Here are the answers. We've got 9 times 4 equals 36, 4 times 9 equals 36, 36 divided by 4 equals 9, and 36 divided by 9 equals 4. Let's do the next one. All right, so here is the next one. Let's have a look at the answers. 5 times 11 is 55. 11 times 5 is 55. 55 divided by 5 is 11. And 55 divided by 11 is 5. How did you get on? All right, let's try our missing number ones. So make sure you pause to either write down or say out loud the answers to these ones, but you need to work out the missing numbers. So please do pause so you've got time to work it out. Okay, we're going to go through the answers to this first one. So what is the answer to 6 times 4? It's 24. So let's have a look at the answers. Right, here we go then. Let's have a look at our answers. We've got 24 in our triangle. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 6 equals 24. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. 24 divided by 4 equals 6. How did you get on with that one? Let's have a look at our final one. So what is the missing number here? We need something that we're timesing by 8 to get to 40, or you might have known what 40 divided by 8 is. The missing number is 5. Let's have a look at the answers. Right, here are our answers. So we've got 5 times 8 equals 40, 8 times 5 equals 40, 40 divided by 5 equals 8, 40 divided by 8 equals 5. Okay, that is a lot of fact family work for multiplication and division. Just quickly as well, before we look at the last question we're looking at, just to look back, you can use these to help you with your times tables. You can make these at home. So if you were doing your 5 times table, you could have 5 here, and then you could have 1, so 1 times 5, 5, times 2, 10, times 3, 15, times 4, 20. And you can use these to help you look at the connection and the fact family. And people can always also test you using them. They can cover up one of the numbers and say, what do you times by 5 to get to 40? What is 40 divided by 5? See if you can tell them. What is 5 times 8 or 8 times 5? And see if you can tell them. So you can use these, you can draw these out to help you and hang them up around the house like we do in the classroom. Right, let's have a look at question 2 on here. So this says, here are some divisions. For each division, write a multiplication that uses the same numbers. So exactly what we've just been doing, it's asking you to rearrange the numbers, but to create a multiplication which would be in the same family. So thinking about our triangles, with this one at the top, remember which number normally goes at the top of the triangle, the biggest one. So we've got 98, 2 and 49, 56, 7 and 8. Managed to do this microscopically small, but I will hold it up in a second. There we go. So you could draw out a triangle for each of those as well. and think, oh, which multiplication could I write, which would use the same numbers as those divisions and be part of the same family.
Right, now before you go, I've got a game to show you, and I will put the link to it in the description underneath the YouTube video so you can have a go. It's called Number Fact Families and works on what we've just been doing with the inverse triangles. Now, my last video this week is going to be looking at questions 3 and 4 on page 25, which is to do with estimation. So I'll see you for that, but I'll give you a little demonstration of this game now so you can have a play at home. So this is the game, Number Fact Families from Top Marks. So there is the choice of doing addition and subtraction or multiplication and division. And there are 2 columns here of possibilities. The only difference is on this side, the calculation you'll get will be something add something equals, and the answer will be on this side. And for this part of the game, the answer comes first. Now, it doesn't matter which one you play, that's up to you. Now, when you're doing addition and subtraction, I suggest you choose up to 50 or up to 100 to make sure you're working your brain properly. And I'll just show you what it looks like. So you are given the boxes to write out the 4 calculations for that fact family, and these on the right in purple are the numbers and the addition and subtraction signs we've got here to fill out these boxes. Now, one box is highlighted on the top left over here, it's white, and you need to click on the number or the sign that you want to go into that box. Okay, you don't drag it and drop it, you click on it depending on which box is selected. Okay, so you can do your two addition calculations first, or you could do your 2 subtractions. It's up to you, but you just go through. So 34 is the biggest number, so that's obviously going to be the answer for the addition and the addition questions. So I'm going to do 7 add 27 equals 34, and then 27 add 7 equals 34. And then remember, for the 2 subtractions, you must always start with the biggest number. So 34 take away 7 is 27, and 34 take away 27 is 7. Okay, so we've got 2 addition, 2 subtraction. Our subtractions start with the biggest number, and we've rearranged to make 4 different number sentences for that fact family. So then we can click check. So once you've done that, it will give you another one to have a go at. Now, if I just go back to the menu and come on to times and divide, it is the same idea. You can have the answer last or the answer first, and you can choose whether you do your 2 to 5 times table, 6 to 12, or 2 to 12, which is all of them. Okay, so the first half, the second half, or all of them. So it's the same idea. If I just come onto here, so you'll need to work out how these are connected. Now, the clue is obviously the biggest number will be the total, the product of the 2 that you are timesing by. And again, you go through, you look at which box is highlighted, and you click through the answers. So 2 times 12 equals 24. 12 times 2 equals 24. Now, just like with subtraction, when we divide, we must start with the biggest number because that's the total which you're then going to divide. So 24 sweets divided by 2 is 12. 24 sweets divided by 12 is 2. Okay, and then check. So that's the game. I'll pop the link in the description underneath the YouTube video. I hope that's helpful. I hope you enjoy playing. See you later.